The overlooked reason behind leg weakness. After 60, leg weakness is one of the most common complaints among older adults, but it rarely happens overnight. It begins subtly. Maybe you find yourself taking longer to climb stairs, needing extra support when standing up, or feeling more fatigued after a walk that used to be easy. Most people chalk this up to just getting older. And while age-related muscle decline is real, it's not the whole story. After 60, the body naturally loses muscle mass, roughly 1 to 2% per year. But new findings suggest that dietary habits may play an equal or even greater role in how strong your legs remain over time. Many of the foods we've come to rely on for convenience and comfort may actually be working against our physical independence. These everyday items don't just add calories, they actively interfere with muscle recovery, joint function, and bone integrity. You may not feel the effects right away, but over months and years, these choices quietly contribute to reduced strength, poor circulation, inflammation, and nutrient loss, all of which can make your legs feel weaker, stiffer, and less reliable. The good news is that this process can be slowed and, in many cases, improved, not with extreme diets, but by understanding which foods silently accelerate decline and what to eat instead. In the next sections, we'll uncover 5 common food categories that are strongly linked to loss of leg strength in older adults. We'll explain how each one affects your body, who may be most vulnerable, and how small changes in your meals can support steadier, stronger movement for years to come. Because staying active after 60 isn't just about moving more, it starts with what's on your plate. Processed sugar, how sweetness weakens. Muscle and bone sugar is often viewed as a harmless indulgence, a little something sweet to finish off a meal or lift your mood. But for older adults, especially those with insulin resistance, prediabetes, or joint issues, the long-term effects of processed sugar can be far more serious than a temporary spike in blood glucose. When you consume sugar in refined forms, from pastries, soda, candy, or hidden sugars in packaged foods, your body experiences a rapid rise in blood sugar. That spike is followed by a steep drop, which leaves your muscles underpowered and your energy drained. Repeated often enough, this pattern interferes with how efficiently your muscles function, especially in the legs where endurance and strength are essential for daily tasks. But it's not just energy fluctuations that pose a problem. Sugar drives low-grade, chronic inflammation, a process that subtly degrades muscle fibers and stiffens joints over time. Inflammation particularly affects weight-bearing joints like the knees and hips, making movement more difficult and increasing the risk of injury from strain or falls. More critically, excess sugar contributes to insulin resistance, where cells become less responsive to insulin, impairing the delivery of key nutrients, including amino acids, to the muscles. This means less raw material for muscle maintenance and recovery, especially in aging bodies where rebuilding tissue is already slower. Sugar also interferes with calcium metabolism, reducing how well bones retain this crucial mineral. For older adults, especially women post-menopause, this can increase the risk of bone thinning and fractures. If you're living with type 2 diabetes, arthritis, or chronic fatigue, the impact of sugar may be even more pronounced. Reducing processed sugar can ease joint pressure, support more stable energy levels, and protect both muscle and bone density as you age. Deep-fried foods, the hidden inflammation in every bite. Crispy, golden, and flavorful. Fried foods are a comfort many of us grew up with, but beneath the satisfying crunch lies a mix of ingredients that quietly undermine the systems your legs depend on most. The biggest issue with fried foods isn't just the extra calories, it's the type of fat they're cooked in, often oils high in trans fats or repeatedly reheated vegetable oils. These fats are known to trigger inflammation, which gradually erodes cartilage, irritates joint linings, and reduces muscle efficiency. This is especially problematic for adults managing osteoarthritis or early signs of joint degeneration. Inflammation from fried foods doesn't just stay local, it becomes systemic. That means your knees, hips, ankles, and even small stabilizing muscles may all suffer reduced function over time. Movements that once felt natural, standing from a chair, walking uphill, bouncing on one leg, start to feel unsteady or painful. Fried foods also impair blood circulation, Poor blood flow means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach the muscles and joints. This can result in heavy, tired legs, delayed recovery after activity, and even numbness or cramping during rest. The issue is compounded when fried foods contribute to weight gain. For every extra pound gained, your knees absorb up to 4 additional pounds of pressure with each step. Over time, this added strain accelerates the breakdown of joint support structures, increasing your risk of mobility loss. For those with heart disease, poor circulation, or chronic joint pain, the effects of fried food can be even more immediate and debilitating. Replacing these items with grilled, steamed, or oven-roasted options not only reduces inflammation, but gives your body a better chance to move freely, without pain or heaviness holding you back. Processed meats. How convenience eats away at muscle strength. Processed meats, like bacon, sausage, deli slices, and hot dogs, are a convenient addition to many meals. They're easy to prepare, protein-rich, and widely available. But behind their convenience lies a nutritional profile that quietly erodes the strength of your muscles, especially in the lower body. These meats are often preserved with nitrates, sodium, and chemical additives that extend shelf life but compromise muscle health. One of the first signs of trouble is fluid retention. The high sodium content pulls water into tissues, causing swelling in the legs and feet. For many older adults, this leads to heaviness, stiffness, and a reduced range of motion, especially noticeable during longer periods of standing or walking. But the more serious concern lies deeper. Additives in processed meats fuel chronic inflammation, a state that breaks down muscle fibers over time and slows tissue repair. This is particularly problematic for older adults already experiencing natural muscle loss or those recovering from injury, surgery, or periods of reduced mobility. What makes processed meats especially deceptive is that, while they're a source of protein, they often interfere with nutrient absorption. The high sodium and preservative load can impair how your body uses critical nutrients like magnesium, potassium, and certain B vitamins, all essential for muscle contraction, energy metabolism, and repair. This means your legs may be receiving protein, but without the ability to use it effectively, muscle mass declines faster than it can be rebuilt. This is especially concerning for seniors with conditions like sarcopenia or those managing high blood pressure, where sodium restriction is already vital. Choosing fresh, lean meats, like grilled chicken, turkey, or fish, provides cleaner protein without the metabolic stress. And for plant-based options, lentils, beans, and tofu offer muscle-supporting benefits without the inflammatory toll. High-sodium foods, a slow drain on strength and stability. Salt is essential to life, but in excess, it quietly becomes a threat to mobility, especially for older adults. High-sodium foods are everywhere. Canned soups, frozen entrees, processed snacks, condiments, and even healthy labeled items like low-fat salad dressings or whole grain crackers. Over time, frequent exposure to excess sodium begins to affect how your legs feel, move, and support you. The most immediate impact is fluid retention. When sodium levels rise, the body holds onto water, leading to swelling in the legs, ankles, and feet. This extra volume increases pressure on joints and soft tissues, making it harder to move comfortably and safely. Beyond the swelling, high sodium intake interferes with circulation. It constricts blood vessels and elevates blood pressure, both of which reduce oxygen delivery to working muscles. As circulation becomes sluggish, muscles tire more quickly, coordination declines, and the risk of imbalance or falls increases. But perhaps most concerning is the long-term effect on bone health. Excess salt causes the kidneys to excrete more calcium through urine. Over the years, this slow calcium loss weakens bones, making them more prone to fractures. For older adults, particularly women with age-related bone loss or a history of osteoporosis, this creates a fragile foundation beneath already weakening muscle. Notably, people with high blood pressure, kidney disease, or a family history of osteoporosis are especially vulnerable to these effects. And because sodium hides in so many processed foods, its intake often goes unnoticed. Reducing sodium doesn't mean food has to be bland. Herbs, lemon, garlic, and spices can bring flavor without risk. And when possible, cooking from scratch using whole ingredients allows for real control over sodium and over your long-term strength. Refined carbs. How fast energy leaves your legs behind. Refined carbohydrates, like white bread, pasta, pastries, and crackers, are a fixture in many daily meals. They're easy to prepare, comforting, and often seen as harmless. But for older adults, especially those dealing with low energy, blood sugar swings, or muscle fatigue, refined carbs can quietly sap strength from the legs. Unlike whole grains, refined carbs are stripped of fiber, vitamins, and essential minerals during processing. What's left is a starch that digests quickly, converting almost immediately into sugar in the bloodstream. This creates a rapid spike in energy, followed by a crash. And for your leg muscles, that crash means poor endurance, reduced responsiveness, and quicker fatigue. Repeated blood sugar fluctuations also impair insulin sensitivity. Over time, this disrupts how efficiently your muscles absorb nutrients like glucose and amino acids, making it harder to sustain strength, especially in weight-bearing muscle groups. Refined carbs also promote low-grade inflammation, the same process seen with sugar and processed meats, but with a different angle. These foods rarely come alone. Often they crowd out healthier options, like fiber-rich vegetables, lean proteins, or healthy fats. This displacement means your legs aren't just dealing with the wrong inputs. They're also missing the right ones. The long-term effects include diminished muscle tone, poor postural stability, and even a greater risk of falls, not just from weakness, but from delayed neuromuscular response tied to poor blood sugar control. Replacing refined carbs doesn't require giving up the foods you love. Choose whole grain or sprouted grain bread, quinoa, brown rice, or steel-cut oats instead. When paired with quality protein and healthy fats, these alternatives offer stable energy that supports strength, not robs it. What to eat instead, building strength meal by meal. Avoiding harmful foods is important, but equally essential is knowing what to eat in their place. Your legs depend on a steady supply of nutrients to maintain muscle mass, support joint function, and protect bone integrity. And that all starts with the right choices at the table. Begin with slow digesting whole food carbohydrates. These provide sustained energy without the crashes that leave your legs feeling heavy or unstable. Whole grains like oatmeal, quinoa, barley, and brown rice also contain B vitamins and magnesium, both vital for muscle contractions and endurance. Next, focus on high-quality protein, which becomes increasingly important as we age. Grilled chicken, turkey, eggs, salmon, sardines, or even plain Greek yogurt offer clean sources of protein without the inflammation associated with processed meats. For plant-based options, look to lentils, beans, tofu, or edamame, all rich in protein and muscle-supporting minerals like iron and potassium. Healthy fats are equally critical. They reduce joint inflammation and support nutrient absorption. Add avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish like mackerel or trout to your diet. These fats don't just help your joints move better, they also assist in preserving lean muscle. And don't overlook bone-supporting nutrients. Calcium and vitamin D are essential to maintaining structural strength in the legs. Leafy greens, chia seeds, almonds, and fortified plant-based milks are excellent sources. Magnesium and vitamin K2, found in pumpkin seeds, fermented foods, and leafy greens, also play a role in keeping bones resilient. Finally, aim for balance in every meal. A plate with protein, fiber-rich carbs, healthy fats, and vegetables creates the foundation your legs need to move with confidence. This isn't about a strict diet. It's about consistently choosing foods that fuel your mobility, not limit it. Every bite can either take you closer to independence or farther from it. Choose wisely, and your legs will thank you. Final thoughts. The strength to stay independent is in your hands. Leg strength isn't just about exercise or age. It's about daily choices. What you put on your plate today directly affects how you'll move tomorrow. By cutting back on sugar, fried foods, processed meats, excess salt, and refined carbs, and replacing them with nutrient-rich whole foods. You give your body the support it needs to stay mobile, balanced, and independent. You don't need a perfect diet, just consistent, mindful choices that work with your body, not against it. If this video gave you something helpful to think about, consider sharing it with someone who could use the reminder. And don't forget to subscribe for more simple, science-backed tips to stay strong after 60. Your legs carry you through life. Let's keep them strong for the journey ahead.